Today we're going to explain the inversion table. And it's a wonderful tool, a powerful tool. People often don't understand it, and therefore they get into trouble with it. So it's basically a glorified teeter-totter. And what's important primarily is that you get it adjusted properly for yourself. And if you have different back conditions, you'll want to adjust it differently. But I'm just going to go through and demonstrate how I use it first. So I've got a wooden platform here that helps people who have shorter legs reach the ground. It's not essential and it doesn't usually come with it. When you go to buy an inversion table, if you have any kind of back problem, which most people do who buy an inversion table, having this long lever makes it easier so you don't have to bend down to adjust your ankle security. So this is a Teeter Hang-Ups brand, which is the oldest brand around. But there are many brands now. You can get a great inversion table from $200, $250. So the first step, as I mentioned, is to adjust the length of this leg piece. If you're taller, this leg piece is going to be longer. If you're shorter, it's going to be shorter because you're trying to balance the center of your gravity, which is right about your umbilical area, over the axis of rotation. So I would step in with my left foot and then step over with my right. That's the easiest way. It's also possible to back into it. Sometimes people do better with this. I don't usually recommend it, but it's possible. Your feet go up on the feet platform, sliding in from the side. And then you lower the ankle security. Sometimes they're pads, sometimes they're rollers. What most people don't understand is that it's really important to pull up on your ankles because it's usually the ankles that get tired before anything else. And we weren't really designed to hang upside down like bats from our ankles, so this makes all the difference. I learned this from working with someone who had a shorter leg, and it stressed her ankle was carrying most of the weight. So I also, as you'll see when I work with Susan, use different kinds of pads and such to make it even more comfortable. So I have this set for me, so when I lie down, it goes to the horizontal. As I said, this is basically a glorified teeter-totter. So the first step is to get the adjustment so that you're about in this position. Once again, I'm going to pull up on my toes. The ankles component needs to be secure. Felt like it could go one notch further for me. That's about right. If you really crank it down hard, though, it'll be painful. And it seems like you need to have it, but no one ever falls out of this. Your ankles won't allow it. Your feet won't allow it. So you roll back, and you come to the horizontal. So this, people, especially people who need control, they're holding on for dear life, and they think they got to push and pull. And this is just kind of a security blanket. The way you change the angle on the inversion table is by changing one or both of your hand positions. People get into trouble because they throw their hands back, oh my God, and then they come back the other way, ah! You don't want to do that. So everything is gentle, one hand at a time. Pulling back on your ankles, securing those, coming back the other hand. Oh, it feels so good. This is about the angle that most people work at, and that I have most people work at. You can move your body a little bit to take away the frictional component so that you stretch fully. It's also possible to do little oscillations once you get used to it. So for those of us that like roller coasters, this is a nice thing to do. As I said, for someone who's getting used to it, just a little bit of angle. And it's possible to secure how deep it goes through a strap that you can see hanging down off the bottom there. For most people, very gentle. 5 minutes. You don't need to go very long. It doesn't take long to decompress the spine. Listening to yourself, feeling yourself, getting used to the blood going to the head, which is something that most people have never felt since they were kids and hanging from the jungle gym. Relaxing into it. If your shoulders are hurting, bring your hands back. It is possible to go all the way upside down. But for most people, it isn't necessary. In this position, You can do curl-ups. You can do stretching. But this is really an advanced move. Most people don't need this. The way you get out of this is not by coming up, but by gently reaching back and bringing your body back to the bed, and then it comes up on its own. It's important to come up slowly, bending your knees, breathing, let your head clear. I frequently suggest that people roll side to side, let their back get used to being loaded in gravity instead of decompressed in gravity. Sometimes turning as you come up is helpful, grabbing the handpiece, sitting, making sure your head is clear. Really important. Opening, stepping down, holding on, stepping over. So this concludes the first part of this video, and now I'll demonstrate setting Susan up with it, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Good?
Good.